The banking app doesn't even show a minus sign. It just shows nothing worth calculating, a string of numbers that cancel each other out before the day ends. Your student loan payment auto-drafts on the 3rd. Your card gets declined at a gas station on the 4th, $11 short. The attendant waits. You transfer $15 from an account that doesn't have $15 to spare and watch the transaction process in real time like it's a small miracle. Your cousin sends a text with a screenshot attached. No caption needed. His portfolio crossed 6 figures. You reply with a thumbs up and put the phone face down. At 1 a.m. you type index fund versus stocks into a search bar you've opened a dozen times before, never finishing the article, never opening a brokerage account because starting feels like admitting how far behind you already are. The first truth, at $0, you're not behind. You just haven't started the clock yet. You open a high-yield savings account for the first time and watch it earn $4 in interest by the end of the month, $4 you didn't work for. It feels disproportionately exciting. You stop dreading unexpected expenses the way you used to. A parking ticket used to ruin your week. Now it's an annoyance you pay and forget. You max out your employer's 401k match for the first time, realizing you've been ignoring free money since your first paycheck. Nobody explained this in school. You had to stumble into a Reddit thread to learn it. You build a cushion, not a fortune. $10,000 doesn't change your lifestyle. It changes your sleep. The second truth, $10,000 buys silence. Not luxury, just the absence of dread. You could survive a layoff now, 6 months, maybe more if you cut back. That knowledge sits quietly in the back of your mind and changes how you talk in meetings. You stop flinching at your manager's tone. Your portfolio starts moving in ways unrelated to your paycheck. Some months it grows more from the market than from your own labor. That distinction used to feel abstract. Now it's a number on a screen you check with mild curiosity, not anxiety. You still shop the sale rack. Still split delivery fees with your roommate. Nothing about your daily life announces $50,000. That's the point. The third truth, $50,000 doesn't change your world. It changes your relationship to risk. You get pre-approved for a mortgage, and the number surprises you, not because it's high, but because a bank finally sees you as low risk instead of a liability. You negotiate a raise for the first time without rehearsing an apology in your head first. The fear that used to color every financial decision has quietly left the room. Your younger sibling asks you for advice about their first job offer. You realize you now sound like someone who has this figured out, even though you don't feel like you do. The fourth truth, $150,000 doesn't hand you freedom. It hands you leverage, and leverage is what freedom is built from. The market drops 12% in a bad quarter, and you don't check the app for 3 days. Not because you're avoiding it, because you already know panic doesn't change the outcome. You calculate for the first time what your money could generate annually if you stopped working entirely. The number isn't enough to retire on, but it's enough to notice. Friends start assuming you're doing well based on vague signals, not evidence. You never confirm or deny it. Your apartment still has the same furniture you bought at 24. The fifth truth, $500,000 is where the math starts working louder than your effort does. You cross into 7 figures on an unremarkable Tuesday, checking your portfolio between meetings, and feel almost nothing. The milestone arrives without ceremony because nothing external marked the moment. Your spending habits haven't shifted. You still make coffee at home most mornings. The gap between your net worth and your visible lifestyle has become wide enough that people who know both numbers would be confused meeting you in person. You start reading about estate planning, a topic that felt irrelevant a decade ago. Not because you're wealthy in the way movies depict, but because you finally have something worth protecting past your own lifetime. The sixth truth, $1 million doesn't announce itself. It just quietly removes the fear that used to run underneath everything. You could technically stop working. You calculate the withdrawal rate more than once out of curiosity, not urgency. The option exists now, even if you don't take it. You realize the biggest driver of this number wasn't a single decision. It was 2 decades of not touching an account you forgot you were contributing to. Boring, unremarkable, compounding. A friend asks how you did it, expecting a strategy, a stock pick, a secret. You tell them the truth. You just never stopped, and it embarrasses you a little how unsatisfying that answer sounds. The seventh truth: $3 million isn't a story about one smart move. It's a story about not undoing thousands of small ones. Your accountant now sends you documents you don't fully understand, and you sign them anyway, because the professionals around you have become part of managing this number, not just advising on it. You give money away for the first time without needing the tax deduction to justify it. It surprises you how good it feels to not calculate the return. The number on your statement stops registering emotionally most months. It's data now, not identity. You remember being $200 short for rent once, and that memory feels like it belongs to someone else. The eighth truth: $10,000 turns money into infrastructure. It stops being something you spend and becomes something you maintain. You stop checking daily fluctuations entirely. A 3% swing used to matter. Now it's noise against a number too large for daily movement to mean anything. A private banking team reaches out before you've asked for anything, introducing services you didn't know existed. They already know details about your finances you never explicitly shared with them. You get asked to weigh in on decisions outside your expertise, simply because your name is now attached to enough capital that people assume your opinion carries weight it may not deserve. The ninth truth: $25,000 doesn't make you happier. It makes problems that used to feel unsolvable disappear quietly in the background. You stop thinking in terms of what you can afford and start thinking in terms of what you want to exist after you're gone. A wing of a building, a scholarship fund, a name on a plaque nobody will ask about. You write a check for something you believe in, not because it benefits you, but because you finally can without missing it. People's demeanor shifts the moment they learn the number, even when you never told them directly. Word moves faster than you do. The 10th truth: $50,000 changes how the world approaches you long before it changes how you feel waking up. You reach a number that used to exist only in headlines about other people, and it arrives the same quiet way every level before it did. No fireworks, just a notification you almost miss. You still remember $11 short at a gas pump. You remember the search bar you typed into at 1 a.m., too intimidated to actually open an account. Somewhere right now, someone is standing at a register, watching a card decline, doing quiet math about what they can put back. They don't know yet that the number they're staring at isn't a verdict. It's just the earliest data point in a story they haven't finished writing. You are the same person at every number. The only thing that changed was how long you let it run.